I think raising seams would help. I mean, these guys are throwing cue balls out there. If you've ever picked up a Major League Baseball, when they talk about
Yeah.
seams, I think it's a joke. Like you can barely feel the seams on a Major League Baseball.
It's almost like
They
they're
are-
like drawn on there.
It's
Yeah.
funny you bring up the baseballs. So I don't know if you guys listened. So Paul Skenes was on the Pardon My Take podcast last week, maybe Wednesday or Friday. And they had asked him about Major League Baseballs. And he had said college baseballs and then like single A, double A. He much prefers Major League Baseballs over those.
Really?
Yeah. And he had said like AAA and then big leagues kind of like use the same baseballs, but like the lower levels of minor leagues and then college, he's like, you don't know what you're going to get. Like he's like, it just, the feel in your hand, like it doesn't feel, some of them don't feel like real baseballs. Like, so we can talk about the seams all we want, which I think is a valid point, but to hear it like directly from a major league pitcher who is pretty decent. I don't know. Last time I checked, Paul Skenes pretty good.
He's all right.
Directly
And
from
throws
his mouth,
hard without hitting people.
right. Like for him to sit there and say like, I prefer Major League Baseballs over other baseballs it kind of got me thinking a little bit, like maybe they're not as bad as it's made out to be.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Like
one thing
maybe some of this is just guys can't control the baseball.
Well, I think the one thing with Major League Baseball that he said is that you get the same ball all the time. Like it's a very consistent baseball. Is it the best baseball to throw? I don't know. You could ask people and they have different opinions. But Skenes is a guy who throws really hard with really good control, and he has no problem.
Yeah.
So I think you're right, Sean. I think you go back to maybe this isn't a baseball problem. Maybe it's just the fact that these guys just don't know where the hell the ball's going because they don't care. They just want to light up the gun.
Right. Maybe it's a 15% baseball issue, 85%. I don't know where the hell this ball's going. You know, maybe versus the other way. Like for years, they've made it seem like, well, Major League Baseball is putting these guys in a tough spot. They're giving them baseballs that are impossible to control. And then you hear it right from the horse's mouth. And he's like, well, I prefer those baseballs. So I don't know. It really kind of got me thinking when I was listening to that.
I mean, it makes sense because even when I was pitching in high school, you know, like we had the raised seams in high school and like I'd get blisters all the time from the seams just coming off my fingertips and all of that stuff. But I would get one baseball that had, you know, crazy seams and then I'd get another one that wasn't. And,
you always get that one ball where it's almost like pitted around the seams and the seams are like way up and you couldn't even it hurt to hold it.
Yeah. So like I guess what Skenes was saying was like the consistency of it. Like I know what I'm going to get every time the umpire throws me a ball. So I mean, that makes sense. But yeah.
But at the same time, like you see these guys in the bullpen and they're just dotting the zone. Like they're just warming up, throwing strikes. They get on the major league mound in the game and all of a sudden the ball starts going everywhere. Is it because they're just not going max effort in the bullpen warming up? So they're not really truly letting it fly? Or is there something that changes between those two spots? Because like you watch a guy warm up and it's just pounding the strike zone. Yeah. They get out there and they can't hit anything but the batter. And it must be the additional level of effort they're putting in where they're releasing and praying. But at the same time, if you can have that level of control in the bullpen, why wouldn't you throw more like that? Like do what Skenes did, dial the velocity back a little bit, pick up better command and control, and you'll pitch just as well, if not better.
Yeah. Well, I think too with Skenes is his off-speed stuff is so dominant that he doesn't have to lean on his fastball versus you have like these relievers that come out and all they have is 103 mile an hour
fastball.
But again, to that point, it's not a baseball issue. That's a pitching issue.
Right. No,
right? Like, that's not a baseball issue.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah. Absolutely.